Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today I have the P14s Gen 2 Intel version. So I think you previously saw that I had the Ryzen version not too long ago. I think about 4 weeks, maybe a little bit more than that. And I showed you everything about it, how wonderful it is and what it offers and everything else. But here we have the Intel version. Even though this device has the 11th gen CPU, it's still being sold and still being liked by a lot of people and companies. Anyways, let me show you the port that it offers. So on the right side, we have the Kensington lock, Ethernet, fan, exhaust maybe you can call it, USB, which can charge other devices while the device is being turned off. Full card reader, usually for security reasons, and it can even read the NFCs, but never mind, I'm never using it. Behind it, we have the WAN connectivity, which means you can put in SIM card and have Wi-Fi or network connectivity anywhere you go. On the left side, we have a charging port, which is Type-C. You can believe me, it's a Type-C. Another Type-C, which is Thunderbolt. Another connect, which Lenovo used to sell, but they are not selling it anymore. Basically, those three used to connect to a mechanical docking station, and yeah, it's not being sold anymore as like that. They're now selling just the docking stations with the Type-Cs, the normal versions. But you had USB-C, USB-C, and this one usually used for the network connectivity. So basically this device has two network connectivities, one on this side and one on the other side. USB, HDMI, aux, and micro SD card reader, which is kind of useful. Some people say they need the bigger one, some say they like the smaller one. Well, this one has the smaller version. But you know, I have a small surprise to you. The guy, or the girl, I mean, that have the P14, the Ryzen version, as you can see, I told her, look, I have another guy coming with the Intel version. Can we do a short comparison, just to show the ports and stuff like that? She said, okay, cool, take it. So thank you again, Karin. So on the right side, let me show you how not different they are at all. On the right side, they both have network connectivity, they both have exhaust, they both have USBs, and they both coming with the card reader. On behind it, they both have the SIM tray connected. Sorry, nothing happened. They both have the SIM connectivity on the back, and on the left side, everything is the same. So, if you are interested of seeing the review of the Ryzen version, please click over here. You'll have the full review, which includes SSD benchmark, hard drive, hardware benchmarks, GPU benchmarks, everything. Go over there and watch it. This video is about the Intel version. Okay, so the P14s, what does it stand for? So basically, to be honest, I'm not sure what Lenovo is trying to achieve with this one. Basically, it has almost identical body and everything on it, the same as the T series, except from this one has an external GPU, onboard GPU, but NVIDIA GPU, for example, or AMD have their own AMD GPU on it. So having a whole line of different devices just because it has an external graphics card, I don't get it. But okay. Price wise, so the Ryzen comes without an external GPU, if I can recall it, but it still comes cheaper by about $300. So it's kind of cool. Those devices are about a year or maybe year and a half old, so they are cheaper in basically any way. There is that. But you know what? Enough talking. Let's open it up and I'll show you what hardware is hiding behind the P14s Gen 2. So while opening the task manager, we can see that this device has a touchscreen. Touchscreens are always kind of nice. So the CPU is an Intel i7 1165G7. It's I think it's the first version of the Iris Xe graphics card, whatever version kind of CPU that's highly capable. It's about hybrid graphics capability and energy and efficient. So it's kind of above average kind of a laptop. Memory, we have 32 gigs of RAM. It is DDR4, so no DDR5 over here. The SSD is Western Digital, I think, because of the WD. It's a WDC PC SN730 SDBQ NTY-512G-1001, which means probably this device has 512 gigs of storage. So the GPU, as I told you, it's the Intel Iris Xe graphics, the first version of the Intel Xe Iris. And this one has NVIDIA Quadro T500. So the T500 is basically your first level out of the onboard graphics. It means that if you are opening Excel sheets, if you are doing above average, like let's say even basic Photoshop, and you don't want to have your device just clogged up and not running very well, then you have your external GPU, which throws its work to the graphics card. So it's fine. The T500 is fine. I do know a few Photoshop editors and Premiere editors that are working on this graphics card. So it should be enough for most people. And for the price that they're currently being sold at, I think about $1,000, maybe a little bit above the net, it's a good option. So the screen is 1920 by 1080, which is full HD. But the screen is from the older versions of 16 by 9, which means you still have this little chin. The screen is pretty fine. It's the usual Lenovo screen, which means you might see a little bit of yellow here and there, but it's either way you like it or you don't. Some people do, some people don't. You should see it in your own eyes if you are into graphics and stuff that are using this monitor. Now for the keyboard. So this one still has the beautiful, wonderful, the beloved version of the ThinkPad keyboards. It's not a full keyboard, as you can see, there is no numpad, but those are zip keycaps and they are very, very nice to type on. It is backlit, which means it has LED beneath it if you want it. I think there are a few versions of it without backlit, but to be honest, you should not skip on a $5 option. But what do I know? Anyways, about the typing experience, let me show you. Let me write for you. Hello there, my YouTube channel. Thanks you. Sorry, my English isn't the best. for watching this video. Yeah, thanking you. Anyways, as you can see, wonderful typing experience. Yes, I mistyped a few times, but that's because I am watching this video from the camera, so it's a little bit not the easiest experience, and because it's a little bit different to type on. Anyways, trust me, wonderful keyboard, awesome experience. And for the trackpad. So the trackpad's always been okay over the time with the Lenovo. This one is also smooth. It's not smoothest that I've had. It's kind of quiet. And it's very precise. You can right click it, you can left click it, you can have, gestures. Fine kind of a trackpad. And now for the speakers test. Again, this is an up-firing speakers, which means less quality, but really if you are buying this type of a laptop, you probably are using some kind of headphones or speakers. But anyways, let me show you the test of the sound. This is Hip Jazz by Benjamin Tissot from bensound.com. So let's give it a try and let me know what you think. As you've heard, and sorry for the noise coming out of my window and those motorcycles, weird people. Anyways, as you've heard, the speakers are okay. They are not the loudest, but they are not very dirty. What do I mean by dirty? I mean that you're hearing sound that is fairly okay. So I do like those speakers. They are average, but clean average, if that means anything. What I'm trying to tell you about it. And now for the SSD benchmark. So I'm going to run this benchmark and come back to you with numbers once it's finished. And the numbers are back. So as you can see, read 3,385, write is 2,650.2, which means that this SSD is, I'm not sure what to say about it, because the write speeds are lower than average, but read is a little bit higher than average. So I would say that this SSD is average. Overall, fine SSD, enough space to do a lot of things, and comes from a reliable company, which is Western Digital, and that's what I have to say about it. As you can see, it comes with Wi-Fi 6, so that's good. So right now I would like to have CPU benchmark. So I'm going to run the test for you. Let me close this one. So I'm going to run the test without a charger, and again with the charger, and then you know the procedure. We'll do the graphics card and we'll go for there. So let me run the test and I'll come back to you with numbers. So while running the test, you can hear the fan running. It's nothing too major, but it can be heard, especially if there is something blocking it or something is bothering the fan. So here we are with the numbers. Single core got almost 1300. Multi-core is 4154, which is a little bit lower than expected. Again, 1 year and above laptop old, it's kind of understandable. So let me show you the rest of the numbers. So now let's do another test, CPU benchmark with the charger. So let me run it and again come back to you with numbers once it's finished. Again, I wanted to let you hear the fan. Now it's running extra hot because of the GPU test, the CPU test, sorry. And we can hear it clearly. Again, not major, but can be heard. Very good, if I may say. And the numbers are back. So this test was with the charger, and this one without the charger. About 10% difference, which is fine. Single core score 1340 and multi-core score is 4424. Let me show you the rest of the numbers. And now for the GPU tests. They are all going to be with the charger. And the first one is Compute API CUDA. So let me run the benchmark and come back to you once it's done. And we're back. The CUDA score is 32,229 in score. Let me show you the rest of the numbers. And now for the second GPU test, Compute API OpenCL. Again, I'll come back once it's done. And we're back, which was very fast. The OpenCL score is 31,849. And the rest of the numbers. And for the last test, Compute API Vulkan. Again, come back to you once it's done. And we are back with the numbers. So the Vulkan is 16,382 in score. And the rest of the numbers are okay. So those were the tests and the review and the benchmarks for the P14s Gen 2 Intel version Core i7. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. And if you're asking me if I could recommend it to someone for a fair price, of course. This is a highly capable device, really easy to work with, easy to go on. Everything is black and beautiful like we're used to see with Lenovo's and ThinkPads. Oh, they're cute. Anyways, thank you for watching and I'll see you in another one.